Hi folks, Tom from Overworks Engineering. It's 5:30 nearly on Friday the 5th of June 2026, and I thought I'd do a quick update video for you about the Land Rover. So the last video was a brief introduction to the engine and the Land Rover, where we are with it. So just a little bit more detail about the OM605 and why I chose it. And as I spoke about in the previous video, there are options, loads of options for Land Rover engine conversions, but this 605 came up for sale locally. It seemed to be good, and so far it is really good. Other options are available, as I spoke about. The 3-litre OM606 is really popular. Big money though. There's various companies that provide conversions for those. Big money. So I went with the 605. It's a 2.5 litre, so it fits. The Land Rover was originally a 2.5 litre. And the real benefit of these engines over a lot of other conversions is that you can keep them fully mechanical. So no ECU, no wiring other than the basics, no computers, nothing needed to make this engine go other than fuel and some power to the starter motor. So just come and have a little look. I'll just show you the important part of this engine. So it's a lovely, nicely engineered mechanical 2.5 turbo diesel engine, but this is the main thing here, which is the fuel pump, injector pump on the engine, which is fully mechanical. It's driven via the timing chain and it pumps fuel into the engine. This pump has been modified. It's got bigger elements on it, so it's capable of producing quite big power in this engine. Quite big power in this engine, which is potential to be a little bit silly. The other thing that I've done is upgraded the turbo slightly. So this turbo is not originally from this engine, it's from a Japanese truck, but it fits fairly nicely. And one of the things that we've had to do to get this engine to work, or this turbo to fit, is a upgraded and completely custom made adapter plate, which is this here. I'll put a little an outtake video, or not an outtake video, just I'll just create some little videos of the work that we've had to do to that, some engineering and hand manufacturing to actually make that work. It's really nice, handmade, and it converts the Mercedes triangular exhaust manifold to a T25 for this Holset turbo, which you can't get. You can't buy them off the shelf. You have to have you'd have to have 2 or 3 or 2 adapters to actually make this turbo fit. There's lots of other things that need to be done to get this turbo on. including oil feed and various other little bits and pieces. But the joy of this turbo is that it should, with this combined with the injector pump and other little modifications, should make this Land Rover go quite well. What else have we had to do to the engine then? So the sump is a rear bowl sump now. Originally on this engine it would have had a front bowl for the car, but if you can imagine, if that bowl at the back of the sump there was at the front, then it would likely interfere with the axle on the Land Rover when the axle's moved around, because the axle's going to be about here. So rear sump, which is originally off a Jeep, 2.7 engine out of a Jeep, had to get hold of that. That's necessitated various little modifications. It now needs a new dipstick. The dipstick's in the wrong place. What else have we done? We've got to relocate the alternator, so there's some brackets here to relocate the alternator. The alternator would originally have fitted here in the Mercedes car, in the C-Class that this engine came out of, but that would interfere with the steering box on the Land Rover, which is there, because the engine's going to be here, so the alternator has to be relocated. What else? Engine mounts. So just have a look there at the chassis. These engine mounts are newly welded in place. The original 200 TDI mounts were here on the chassis, there on that side and there, but now we've got these new engine mounts welded and painted, all fitted on. I'll put a couple of little videos of us doing that. That was done last week. Come round to the other side, the gearbox. I'll talk about the gearbox. So the Land Rover originally had an LT77 gearbox, a military gearbox. This is now an R380, which the Land Rover people will know is the sort of the best gearbox you can get for these manual gearboxes that are standard. So R380 gearbox, which was built by a reconditioning company, Ashcroft Transmissions. They fitted some uprated bearings, various other little bits and pieces to hopefully make the gearbox deal with the torque that the engine produces. Transfer box as well is changed. That's now a 1.2 ratio transfer box, which should make the make Land Rover a little bit more relaxed to drive, because the military gearbox and military transfer box was really low ratio because it was designed for towing and carrying heavy loads. It was a 1.6 ratio, which made it scream when you're doing 50 miles an hour. It probably wouldn't do 50 miles an hour with the original engine, but it was screaming because it was really, really low geared. So this transfer box should make it a little bit more comfortable to drive on the road. A few other bits that we've done: relocated the fuel pipes, because the fuel pipes on the 200 TDI, all of the fueling was on the off side of the engine, so the driver's side of the engine, whereas on the Mercedes engine all of the fuel requirements are on the near side. So we've relocated all the fuel lines. They're all fixed in place, ready to go. As you can see, the body's gone. That's away at the moment. We've having some of the paint removed from it. We've got some of the bits back, which are the bonnet and tailgate there. Paint's been stripped off those. So this is ready for paint. Looks quite nice, not covered in all sorts of horrible paint, although the bonnet and tailgate weren't the originals anyway, so they've been stripped. Got a nice big exhaust ready to go on. So you could summarise this this part of the project has been spending and finding out what we need and what parts are missing, because inevitably with any conversion you come across issues and things that need to be worked on and made better. As you can see, the wiring is very much in need of work. I've got that's on the list of things to do. Going to change all the gauges, got some new gauges to go on, rewire the dash, make a better job of that. I quite like doing wiring, but equally it's a little bit daunting, but a lot of this is military stuff that doesn't need to be there. I just put it temporarily out of the way last year. What else? That's pretty much it, really. So what's left to do? Well, as you can see, we've got to put the engine in. The engine's got to go in. Engine's got to go in. We've got to fit it finally. That's going to involve some, the flywheel. Yeah, I know, yeah. That's just reminding me of all the things that we need to do. We are waiting for the flywheel to come. It's got to be fitted. As soon as the flywheel's here, and there's a few other little bits that are done to the engine, then the engine can go in and it can be bolted in for the last time. And then once that's in, we can start to focus on the exhaust, get the exhaust downpipe done, manufactured, made, fitted, then start to think about intercooler radiator, coolant pipes, boost hoses, and then all of the other little ancillaries, wiring, the loom, get everything nice and tidy. Fuel pipes, get those fitted. And really, once that's done, i.e. the wiring and the engine is in place, and I'd like to get an exhaust and some kind of air filtration as well before we run it. But really then, we can turn the key and see if it'll go, which shouldn't be too long, hopefully. The engine is an unknown because I've never heard it run. I bought it unseen. Well, I bought it. It was on a trailer when I bought it. But when we changed the sump, I spun the engine around on the engine hoist, engine stand, and had a look at the crankshaft bearings and the big end bearings, and they're all good, nice and clean. The engine is in really nice, clean condition inside, so I'm fairly confident it's going to be okay. So there's a brief update for you. I'll continue with these videos as much as I can. Bear in mind, this isn't my normal job. I don't work on Land Rovers for a living. I don't work on cars for a living. It's a side hustle for me. I've got a full-time job that I do as well. So I do try and keep on top of the videos, but really my sort of priority is to actually get the Land Rover working and back on the road. So thank you for watching. Please continue to recommend this channel to anybody, like and subscribe. Pass it on to anybody who you think might be interested in this. The Mercedes conversions, they're not a new thing. People have been doing them for years and years and years, but it's new to me. And I'm really quite excited about getting this vehicle running again and usable and seeing what it's like with this engine in it. So yeah, thank you very much for your time.